Okay, guys, as promised, we have Alexis Ray Parker on the throne with me on the Elite Radio Show right here on 216 The Beat. In case you didn't know, which I don't know why you wouldn't know, I'm Cream, a.k.a. excuse me, Miss Cream of the Crop, and I'm really excited to introduce you guys to Alexis. We're going to be discussing her new single that just dropped. She also just dropped a video, so I'm not going to give anything away. You guys just have to wait until we talk about the video that she dropped and everything else that she has going on. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to have her introduce herself to you guys, and then we'll get into the interview. So, Alexis, thank you so much for being on the throne with me on the Elite Radio Show today on 216 The Beat Radio. And do you want me to call you Alexis Ray Parker? Do you want me to call you Alexis Ray? How do you want me to address you right now? Because I want to make sure I'm addressing you properly.
Yeah, my stage name is Alexis Ray Parker, so it's my full name.
Okay.
But everybody calls me Alexis. But, you know, you don't have to call me that at all times if we just have a regular conversation.
Yeah, that's like a lot of times people do that to me because on Instagram everything is Miss Cream of the Crop. And so people think they have to say that to me. I'm like, no, just call me Cream. That's so much easier. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you were headed to your next destination, and then you had to stop and do the interview. So, so introduce yourself to everyone, and we'll talk about your single and everything else that you have going on.
Okay, so I'm Alexis Ray Parker, a singer, songwriter, rapper, kind of sort of. I say more of a lyricist. I'm from Arkansas originally, born in Pine Bluff, raised in Conway, Arkansas. Been doing music seriously really for about the last 6 years, and it's finally like happening. Like people think that like people's success stories happen overnight, and like it's literally so much work and so many years of work and effort that you have to put into this. It does not happen overnight. It may seem like it to the world, but it's not overnight.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, I said the thing that makes most successful people an expert is the fact that they make what they do look easy. Right. It looks like it happened overnight. So before we get into the interview, you brought up how much work you put into this and how you've been doing this for 6 years and it didn't happen overnight. So usually at the end of the interview, I like to ask my guests to give everyone some encouragement or any type of advice. But since you started with that, let's start with that. Like, what is some advice you can give other artists, indie artists that are coming up that just feel like it's been taking so long before anyone notices them? Like, what's some advice you can give them while they wait?
I'll just say do not give up and don't ever let up. Like, always be consistent. Put in the same amount of work that or even more since you've been putting in day one. Do not slow down. Don't get comfortable. Be okay making yourself uncomfortable, because that is ultimately how you build a success story. You have to make yourself uncomfortable. And it's going to get frustrating. It's been frustrating several times. There's been several times where I was like, dang, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe I need to do something else. And I tried other avenues, but those other avenues that I was trying, I wasn't passionate about them. It didn't make sense. And music was something that I was just naturally drawn to. And so I had to tell myself, okay, I have to give this 100%, because if I'm giving everything else that I'm doing percentages, then I'm not giving what I'm passionate about 100% of my time. So I'm never going to be fully successful in this, because I'm not giving it everything that I have. I'm not putting my all into it. And so I would definitely just say it may seem like it's taking forever. Give it as much time as it needs to take, because you never know. You just never know when things are going to pan out for you.
Absolutely. That day that you decide to give up might have been the day that things were going to turn around.
Exactly.
So with you giving yourself encouragement, what are some things that you do when you are feeling down? Because we're human. We all have those days where we feel like giving up on whatever it is that we're pursuing. So when you have those days, what are some things that you do to uplift your spirits?
I pray a lot. I pray for strength, courage, guidance, understanding. I pray a lot because that's so essential, especially when you in the music industry and you can get discouraged so often. Or just being in a creative industry in general, you know what I'm saying? Like even with you being in radio and everything, like it can become discouraging. Because the
Yes.
entertainment business, it's like it's risk. It's always a risk, and you're risking it in hopes of a greater reward. And
Absolutely.
I feel like the bigger risk you take, the bigger the reward. I've learned that over time. And so I definitely pray a lot. I go hiking. I love hiking. Me and my mom, we're very, very close.
Yes.
I still feel like we never cut the umbilical cord, that we're so close. Me and my mom, I talk to her anytime I feel like I'm getting down or I'm feeling discouraged or whatever. I can call her and I know she's going to give me the words of encouragement, a little kick in the butt, like I like to call it. She'll give me a kick in the butt and tell me, hey, you know, I know you feeling like this right now, but this is temporary.
Yeah.
Keep the bigger goal in mind. Keep the end goal in mind.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do to stay encouraged for sure. And I have a great team of people around me who also uplift me at all times. It's good to have good people around you. That's so important because
Yes.
if you don't have people around you who believe in you just as much as you believe in yourself, it could be a little shaky. If you got people around you that's telling you, well, what if this happened? What if that happened? You can't have those what ifs. You can't be thinking about stuff like that. You got to be like, okay, well, we got to get it done regardless.
Right, right. You have to have that team that believes in you. Sometimes you can be the strongest person and believe in yourself 1,000,000,000,000,000%. You need people around you that believe in you with that same 1,000,000,000,000,000% plus more. Like
Exactly.
your mom is going to push you unconditionally because she believes in you, and you have to have a team around you that believes in you like that because you're going to have those days where you feel down, and they have to be there to be the voice to tell you, like, all right, we know this was a bad morning, but we still have this afternoon, and we still have tonight, and we still have tomorrow. And when you have people that believe in you that much, you can feel it, you can see it, and it's easier to encourage people that you believe in. If I believe in
Absolutely.
you, it takes nothing out of me to encourage you. When you're having a bad day, if I truly believe that what you're doing is going to be, if I truly believe in what you're doing, it's easy to encourage someone when you really do believe in them. And a lot of times it's like, oh, it's so difficult. It really isn't. If you have the right people around you, and they really believe in you, like for me, when I really believe in someone, it takes absolutely zero effort and time out of my day to encourage people that I love, care about, and support. Even if I'm on Instagram and it's just people that I follow that I don't know personally, it takes 2 seconds out of my day to put heart eyes under a girl's picture. Like, yes, sis, you're looking good. I like those shoes. I like that hair, those lashes. Yes, girl, it takes nothing. So I know you talked about hiking. Something else that I love to talk about on my Instagram page on my personal page, is self-care. I'm really big on self-care. So other than hiking and praying, like what other ways do you practice self-care?
So I love going to get like massages, and I like getting my feet and my nails done. I like going to get my hair done. And those types of things are very therapeutic for me too, because like my hairstylist is actually also a good friend of mine. So I can sit and I can have conversations with her while I'm getting my hair done. And that type of stuff is so important. Self-care is a big, big thing too, that a lot of people kind of like sweep under the rug. When you work so hard and when you're always moving around and you always doing stuff, you'll forget about yourself. You'll forget to take care of yourself. And I got to at one point, I'm like, dang, when is the last time I really did something for me, to take care of me. I just need give me a day. I just need
Right.
a day to take care of me and do all of that. And I took a whole day to just go get my nails and hair done, and I went and sat with my friends. I'll even go sit with my friends sometimes every other weekend, and we'll have wine and we'll talk about whatever we dealing with. So those are definitely forms of self-care. And I love watching movies. I watch a lot of movies by myself. So
I love it. I love it. I'm so happy to hear that you practice self-care, because I think a lot of times, too, people don't really know how to be selfish. Like, you think of the word selfish and it has a negative connotation, like, oh, you're so selfish. But sometimes we need to be selfish when it comes to our self-care. It is very, very necessary. So you have your mom, she's your best friend, you have your amazing team, you pray, you have your spirituality and your self-care. How do all of these things make Alexis Ray Parker, the artist, a better artist?
I just feel like without all of those things, and without especially without the support of the people around me, I don't know if I would be able. I know some people be like, I did this by myself, and I got it by myself, and it made me want it more. It made me more hungry. But honestly, I'm grateful that I've had people around me who have pushed me so many times, especially during the times where I was just like, I wanted to give up because I was doing a lot of things by myself. I feel like those types of things made me a better artist, because it was just like, wow, okay, I can't give up on myself because these people not giving up on me. You know what I'm saying? These people believe in me so much, and seeing how much they believe in me makes me feel like, dang, okay, I don't feel like they're just telling me this. I don't feel like this is just something to say. I feel like they really believe in me, and they really push me, because I don't have a lot of yes men around me. I really have zero yes men around me. I have people that really tell me the truth, and people that get into me and they know me. Even my manager, he's known me since I was 12, and he'll give me a real spiel. You know what I'm saying? My mom, she gives me the real. Of course, she raised me. My friends, I'm very appreciative of the support. That support alone has made me a much better artist, and it's made me so much more driven, because it's like, wow, I have all these people around me who really care about me. So I need to care about myself. I need to care about myself, and I need to do what I need to do to make sure I execute the type of success that I want for myself. And so It's made me a much better artist. It's that, just having all of those things: self-care, support, everything, prayer for sure, spirituality, absolutely. It's made me a much better artist and a much better person, to be honest.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. As someone who has been building all of my businesses and my brands by myself, and I do have people in my corner as well. Nothing beats having a team. And if not for anything, basically what you were saying is your team holds you accountable. And knowing that you have that accountability that you have to answer to, it pushes you to say, you know what, if I give up over here, if I sack over here, if I know anyone's going to be on me, it's going to be my mom, and I don't want to hear her mouth. If anybody's going to be on me, it's going to be my manager. I don't want to hear my manager's mouth, and I definitely don't want to let my best friends down. So I think a lot of times people don't realize how important it is to have a team, if for anything besides the support, but for the accountability aspect of having people around you to hold you to your goals and hold you accountable to doing what you said that you set yourself out to do. So you've been doing this for 6 years. How did you know? And I like to ask this question all the time, like, what was the day? What was the place, the thing? What was it that let you know that singing and music was going to be what you wanted to do?
I just had a conversation with somebody recently, and I told them this was a recent thing where I felt like, okay, this is the right thing to do. Of course, I've been doing music seriously for 6 years. I've been recording since I was probably about 15 or 16. I'm 25 now. And I've been writing and stuff since I was a little girl. But this year is actually when I realized this is what I'm supposed to be doing. My grandmother passed away when I was my mother's mom. She passed away when I was 7, and I was very close to her as a child, and she's been gone longer from my life than she was here, but it felt like I had her forever when she was here. She was very impactful on me at a very, very young age. And when she passed, it definitely affected me for a very long time. Like, it's something that I still deal with as far as grieving and everything. And I used to ask myself all the time, like, would my grandmother be okay with the career path that I've chosen for myself? Would she be proud of me? And it's just a question that it circulated my mind all these years. And so there was one night I did my regular bed routine, everything, and I went to sleep, and I had this dream. And my grandmother has been in my dream several times, but she's never talked to me. She had never talked to me, spoken to me. She would just sit with me. I would just see her, and there would be no dialogue. This dream I had probably 2 weeks before my signing day. I remember a couple of days before, I was like, God, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, give me a sign. And if it's not, also give me a sign. And my grandmother was in my dream this particular night, and she just walked up to me and she hugged me and she was like, I'm proud of you and your mom is proud of you. And that was the first time she had ever talked to me in my dream. And I woke up and I was in tears, because even though I felt like I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, and I'm so passionate about music and everything, that validation was one that I really, really needed. And I get it from my mom. I get it from my dad, my stepdad, my stepmom. They always encourage me and everything. But hearing that in my dream it was very touching, and it was so spiritual, because I haven't been able to touch her in the physical form since I was 7 years old. And I haven't heard her speak. And it's something that has eaten me alive. Like, I really want to know, is she proud of me? Like, would she be okay with this? And when that dream happened, it was like, that was so crazy to me. I woke up and I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I had this crazy dream, and Grandma told me she was proud of me, and she said you were proud of me. And that was the validation that I felt like I needed, but I didn't know how much I needed that validation to keep pushing forward and keep doing what I'm doing. And when I tell people that story, they're like, that's crazy. And it's just as crazy for me to tell it every time.
No, I believe you. Listen, I believe you. I'm a believer in all spiritual things, and I believe you. And your grandmother knew, like you said, she's always been there with you. She's always let you know that she was present just by just being in your dreams. But she knew that it was time to actually tell you, do your thing, babe. Do what you got to do. I'm very proud of you. She knew it was time, and she knew that that's something that you needed. And, a lot of times people say, things come right on time, or something came right when I needed it. And I didn't know I needed it then, but when it came, I realized I needed it then. And your grandmother realized that you needed that right in that moment.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing that she came to you, because now you can really put your shoulders down and relax.
Yeah, I feel like I can relax after that. I'm like, ugh. Weight lifted off my shoulder. Now I know she's happy with it. Now I can just do what I need to do.
Yeah, it's like if you were singing before, now you about to sing.
Right.
So you talked about being signed. So I know that you are signed to Jimmy Jackson. What was that day like for you?
Signing day. Jimmy is he's such a good person, so kind-hearted, very genuine. The very first day that I met him, I could just sense that about him, and he's been the same way since day one. Very, very good person. I always felt, and he asked me, this is like an everyday thing. Anytime he sees me or I'm at the studio or whatever, he'll ask me, are you happy? Let me know if you're not happy. Let me know if something changes. Are you happy? You sure you're happy? And he asked me that like constantly. And I'm like, yes, I will let you know if something changes, I promise. But
don't let my grandmother come visit you in your dream.
Listen, so leading up to signing day, like he was really on it. Like, are you sure? You sure this is what you want to do? You feel, I was like, I feel like this is the right decision. I feel like I'm doing the right thing, and I feel like it's finally time. Of course, I'm having this conversation with him after I've had this dream about my grandmother. So I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely set in stone. This is the right decision to make. And so my signing day, it was like, everything was going wrong that day. My hairstylist canceled on me at the last minute. My makeup artist canceled on me at the last minute. I got to go pick up my dress, and I'm running late going to pick up my dress and everything. It all ended up tying together at the end of the night. And when he announced it to everybody, it was very surreal. Like, it was like, is this really happening? You know, it didn't hit me until like the next day. I'm like, dang, I'm a signed artist now. Like, I just woke up and then I'm not the same artist I was yesterday. Like, I got a team behind me, and I have people behind me who are willing to push me, and they believe in me so much that they're going to do what they can to make sure that I'm able to achieve everything that I want to achieve. So signing to change the game with Jimmy and having my manager, it's just been a blessing. It really has. And I'm so thankful and so grateful. Every chance I get, I try to tell them and let them know that I'm very appreciative of them. I really am.
That's amazing. That's such an amazing story, especially for people out there that see and hear all of the horror stories on Instagram and on YouTube of people just signing to people that they thought that they can trust. Just knowing that you made the right decision for yourself, and you have a team that actually cares about you, not just because you're going to make them money, but they actually care about you as a person. They care about they care about your happiness, your mental wellness. That is really, really, really important, to have people around that care about your mental wellness and your happiness. So it's a good thing that they found you and you found them. And just for it to happen after you had that dream from your grandmother, that put everything in perspective. And then you were talking about how the day that, you're supposed to sign, how everything was going crazy. I thought about that. Like, I was really thinking about how many times things have gone crazy on important days for myself. And one of the ways that I like to think about things like that happen, I'm like, this is just the universe testing me to see if I really want this. Yeah. Am I going to give up? Am I going to give up because I couldn't get my hair done? Am I going to give up because I couldn't get my makeup done? Am I going to give up because I'm the person that has to go get my dress and I'm running late? It's like, yes, I still want this. Even if I have to put some concealer on and a hat and show up in this dress, I'm going to sign these papers. I'm ready. So I think that's usually why hard things happen, right before the good times. It's just one last test just to make sure that this is what you really, 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 really want. So I know you recently dropped your new single, and it's called Waste My Time, and you also dropped a video on October 15th. So tell us about the video and tell us about Waste My Time.
So the song, Waste My Time, Marcus, my producer, Marcus Reeves, aka Mr. Music, he played that beat for me in the studio, and I am not used to doing more up-tempo type of music, and it's still kind of slow paced, but it's more up-tempo than what I'm used to. And so I was like, okay, I want to challenge myself to write a record that it would feel like pop type R&B, and I wanted to have like a nostalgic feeling to it when people hear it and when people see the video. And so I feel like we executed that so well. I actually wrote the song about a relationship that I was in. I was dating this guy, and it had been like an off and on thing for a couple years. And we started getting serious, and we were talking about marriage and kids and moving in together and everything. And then one day he was just like, well, I want to be honest, a relationship is not my first priority and everything. And this was all everything that we had done leading up to that, us dating, us being more serious, marriage, the kids, all of that, talking about all of that stuff was him. Like, this was him initiating these conversations.
Wow.
And so when I finally decided that I wanted to be all in the relationship, that's when he started to pull back. And I thought that was so strange because I'm like, you asked for this, but
Right.
okay. And so when we finally broke things off, I went to the studio and I was like, I'm just gonna write. I'm just gonna write about, you know, what I'm feeling right now. And so that's essentially how Waste My Time came about. And then the video was shot by DJ Bruce. He's amazing. We sat down at this restaurant called Taziki's, and we did the whole storyline for the video. Told him exactly how I wanted it to be shot. My choreographer Shar, shout out to Shar, she's amazing. Shar actually came up with the choreography like a week before we shot the video. She came up with choreography. We did auditions for dancers, and then we shot the video all in like 7 days.
Wow.
So it was it was crazy. It was really, really crazy how all of it came together. But I'm so thankful that everybody was so willing to be part of the process and be helpful, because I definitely couldn't have done all of that by myself for sure. But yeah,
that's the importance of having a team. Yeah, that's the importance of having a team, is being able to pull something off like that. That's listen, it's amazing that you had a team there. You were able to pull this off, and a lot of artists have won Grammy nominations, have had Grammy nominations, and have won Grammys off of relationship things that have happened to them. So it's his loss, your gain, because you got some good music out of it. And, you know, I think that even though you went through something as bad as that, that does make you a relatable artist, because a lot of people go through heartache. A lot of people go through relationships where things happen, where the relationship ends out of the blue. And you're like, wait, what? Yeah. We're doing almost everything that you wanted to do.
And this is the funny thing about the song. The funny thing about the song is that it's such a feel-good record that you don't realize it's a heartbreak song. Like, it's a breakup song. So that was like, it's like everybody's always dancing to it. And I'm like, dang, when you really sit down and listen to the lyrics, it's like,
right? Are you guys really paying attention to what you're dancing to my heartbreak? Okay, you not realize this. You're dancing to my tears, but I'm glad you're doing it.
Exactly.
So, who are some of your favorite singers, dead or alive?
Oh, my all-time favorite vocalist, Whitney Houston. That's my all-time favorite vocalist. Like, those vocals are crystal clear, and nobody holds a candle to her. Mm-hmm. She is the greatest and will always be the greatest of all time, vocally, for sure. And then my favorite artist, singer, songwriter, rapper, songstress, Lauryn Hill. I love Lauryn Hill. I grew up, my mom just replaying the miseducation of Lauryn Hill over and over. I've listened to the album so much at this point. I believe the album was released in 98, and I feel like I've been listening to it every year of almost every day of every year of my life since then. I know the album from front to back, top to bottom, all the lyrics. That's my favorite artist. She's inspired me in so many ways. And Lauryn Hill was the first artist that I listened to that showed me that you don't have to be in a box when it comes to music. You can mesh the two, because with me being a singer and a rapper, sometimes I feel like I have to decide what it is that I want to do. And then going back and listening to her, it's just like, I don't have to pick. You know, she did both, and she did both well, and people love her. There's a reason why that album is still being played on a regular basis to this day. And it's her only studio album. Like,
right, exactly. And people listen to that album as if it dropped yesterday, because I still listen to that album. And speaking of her being such a dynamic woman and a dynamic creative, and her showing you that you don't have to choose which part of your creativity you want to put into the world. She was also a great actress. Whitney Houston was also an actress as well. So they were both two multifaceted women. Those are great great women to have on your list. Those are some gigantic shoes. I don't want to say to fill because I don't like for people to put new artists in other people's shoes, but those are some great shoes to admire, I would say.
Yes, absolutely.
Those are
Absolutely.
some big shoes to admire.
I'm
Those
like,
are
I'm
truly.
like trying to fill those shoes and live up to expectations. I appreciate when people give me because the biggest comparison that I get is to Lauryn Hill. But I feel
Mhm.
like the reason why people can see that comparison is because of the influence. I feel
Mhm.
like it definitely shows that I was influenced by her music because of the way that I attack my music when I'm writing and when I'm singing and when I'm rapping. I learned from listening to her. Um I learned about lyricism and make things how to make things sound more complex than what they are through lyricism. I learned all of that from her. And so I feel
Yeah.
like people see that with me. And I see it in myself sometimes. I'd be like, yeah, that's definitely
You
where I
can
get
tell she raised you. You can tell she raised you sonically. It's like sonically I was raised by the miseducation of Lauryn
Yes,
Hill.
yes, that album definitely brought me up for sure.
Yeah, so you talked about writing a lot during this interview, and I always like to talk to people about lyricism, and writing. And I know right now it's not the most popular thing for a lot of artists to do, but that's always a discussion that comes up in a lot of people's interviews is
Mhm.
whether or not they write their own music. So it sounds like that's something that you pride yourself on. Um,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
I can tell
I
you love that.
got so listen, I've had to recently get more comfortable with people writing for me
Mhm.
because I used to get so offended by that. Because I'm just like, no, I write all my own stuff. I don't want nobody write nothing for me. I know exactly what I want stuff to sound like. I can't sing anything that I didn't write because I can't relate to it and
Mhm.
da 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 da. And I've recently had to teach myself that I have to get comfortable collaborating with other writers and being okay with people writing stuff for me because a lot of the songs that I love to listen to were not written by the artists who performed them.
Yeah, yeah, because even with Whitney Houston, "I Will Always Love You" wasn't written by her, and that,
That was written by Dolly Parton.
yes, it was Dolly Parton's song. But that's like one of the songs that everyone loves. But she
Absolutely.
sang it like it belonged to her, though.
Yes. Yes. And I've had to learn like, okay, Alexis, you've proven the point. You've proven the point that you can write and that you write your own music. Now, if you want to grow in this industry and you want to elevate, you have to be able to be collaborative and be okay with allowing other people to come in and interfere where there needs to be change. Because if I'm just writing for myself all the time and I never listen to anybody else's input, you know, it'll be cool. I'll still have the same fan base. People know what to expect from me. But when you bring in other people who have been in the industry a little longer and they write about things that are still relatable to you, even though you didn't write them, they're still relatable to you, and it's a great record. You
Mhm.
you have to give those things a chance. Like you can't box yourself in because that's
Absolutely.
there's when it comes to the music industry, for sure, you literally cannot limit yourself. You have
Mhm.
to be willing to bend here and there. I won't say fold, because you have to stand on the type of artist that you want to be for sure. But you
Mhm.
have to be able to bend a little bit and give people opportunities to just get to know you. Because even with people writing for you, they don't have to just write something and then come bring it to you and present it to you. You can collaborate with them and be like, okay, this is what I'm going through. This is what
Right.
I'm dealing with, X, Y, and Z. And then something beautiful can come out of that. It'd be like, okay, well, you just told me your story, so now I can write something that's relatable to you because I know what's going on.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you said that because I think a lot of people have that conversation in the industry and they don't really understand the importance of collaborating. And you said it beautifully. It's you stand on being a writer. You
Yeah.
stand on your lyrics but you are also open to collaborating with others because they can help you tell your story in a different way. And I think if you put it that way, it helps people understand the importance of collaboration, and it also helps people understand that having someone else collaborate with you on lyrics doesn't make you less than as an artist or less than when it comes to your own personal lyricism. And you're human. There's only so many things, like we said earlier, that you can do by yourself.
Right.
You know, there's only so much you can do by yourself. But I feel like our listeners got to know you very well in this interview. I know you have a busy schedule, so we don't want to hold you up, but just to recap, if there's anyone that's tuning in right now, this is Cream. You're on the throne with me on the Elite Radio Show right here on 216 The Beat, and I have Alexis Ray Parker on the throne with me right here on the Elite Radio Show, and we've been talking about self-care, spirituality, teamwork. We've been talking about relationships, wasting your time, people wasting your time. We've been talking about mom's love, all types of things. So if you guys missed the beginning part of this interview, don't worry, the replay is going to be on YouTube and on our Audio Mag page. You guys aren't subscribed to our Audio Mag page. I don't know what you've been waiting for, but search 216 The Beat Radio and you'll be able to hear the replay of Alexis' amazing interview. But before we let you go, please let everyone know how they can support you, where they can go and watch your video. If they're interested in collaborating with you, I know you have a management team. And, guys, if you missed this part, she is signed. Okay? SIGNED, signed. So respect her signage and go to the right people. So tell everybody how they can support you in your career if they already aren't supporting you.
Yes. Okay. So I'm always on social media. Like, I'm a social media freak. I love watching videos all the time. Like, that's all I do on my phone all day. But you can follow me on Instagram at the Alexis Ray Parker. That's where I'm the most active. I'm always posting stuff. Whatever you need to know is going to be on Instagram. Twitter, The Real ARP. My Facebook is Alexis Ray Parker. I do have TikTok. It's the Alexis Ray Parker as well. My video is actually streaming on YouTube, and it's streaming on Apple Music as well. If you search me on Apple Music under my name, it'll pop up. So yeah, and the song is on all streaming platforms. Yes. You can find me anywhere you need to.
Absolutely. And guys, you know what? Something I just remembered that I forgot to mention. Just to put a little bit more sauce and flavor on Miss Alexis Ray Parker. Her video was featured on BET Soul and MTV. So not only is she signed, but her video was featured nationally. So like I said, give her her flowers and everything else. She's been doing this for 6 years. She's been 6 years in the game. She writes her own music. She collabs a little bit on the side. She's signed. She's been streamed on BET Soul and MTV. I don't even know how else we need to wrap this interview up than to brag on all of the goodness that has come her way and all of the fruition that has come from her hard work. But Alexis, thank you so much for being on the throne with me this Saturday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Before you go, can you introduce your track, and we'll play it for everyone that's tuned in right now, and then we'll let you get on with the rest of your Saturday.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So this is Alexis Ray Parker, and right now you are about to hear my brand new single, Waste My Time. Please stream it. Run the streams up. We need all of the love we can get.
As we say, run those numbers up. Run those numbers up. All right, guys. This was Alexis Ray Parker on the throne with Cream right here on 216 The Beat Radio, and this is Waste My Time.